Hey, time to wrap up this story arc. Kurt, Sosuke, Kaname, and Tessa make their escape in the pickup. I'm not saying it definitely inspired the eggplant emoji. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if it had. What also doesn't surprise me is that the JSDF has arrived with their own giant robots. You only have to deal with so many giant robots and kaiju yourself before you just have to be proactive. Melissa, though, she's got a real problem, being in the grip of the Behemoth and all that. Tessa tells her what to do, but it's too late. The robot's crushed to pieces. That's a reversal. You're stepping on the man. The JSDF bots bring out their big guns, but the Lambda driver can conjure up a shield and gives it back to them a lot harder. I think people in Tokyo at this point wonder if they've fallen into a sunken cost fallacy. They've just put so much into this town that no matter how many times things show up and trash it, they just fix it and stay. You'd think at the very least they'd question their feng shui. Tessa feels guilty because she could have killed this little shit, and she didn't. Now people are dying thanks to him.
If I can't have her, then I'll simply destroy her.
I've seen this scene 3 times now, and every time the vibrating makes me think it's the robot that's trying to turn over. Gotta get the Lambda driver going. They get their truck going, with Kurt sitting in the back. Not to worry, it's part of his plan. Well, not to worry. If anything bad happens, he brought it on himself. Tessa is having a little trouble booting up at the moment, but Sosuke finally gets across. They need some backup. Like, I don't know, everything. Everything you got. Whatever you have back there. You got a guy who might possibly be a wizard? Get him on the helicopter and send him in. Well, the submarine is too far away for backup, and while Sosuke suggests sending their special robot via ballistic missile, Tessa knows it's going to take too long to get hooked up. I mean, it's a lot of duct tape. Well, luckily, they thought ahead and readied the missile with Arbalusk anyway. Just in case. Someone's bucking for a promotion. Although new AirPods for the captain probably would have done the trick. She now struggles with an ideal spot to put it down. It's not like a video game where it just shows up and you've got the backup thanks to a cutscene. You need to have the pilot get in and start up before the enemy juggernaut thing destroys it. Kurtz helps out. He puts a round into the Behemoth's gun port to disable that attack.
Wow, and all this time I thought you were just a pretty boy bluffing your way through everything.
Well, there's no reason he can't be both. Meanwhile, the old guy and not Kino get out. Turns out she didn't shoot him. The shifting of the ship struck her in the back with a girder and mortally wounded her. But as she lies dying, she's satisfied knowing that for the next 40 hours, that thing is going to be stirring up so much shit with no way to stop it. Oh, and also, turns out that the kid was confused and just assumed she was his sister. She's actually an only child. Well, she tells the old guy that she despises him. Oh, she goes on about how much she hates him, which of course certainly explains why she dragged him out here with her last ounce of strength. She asks for his name before she dies, and he gives it to her. Not like it could hurt. I was kind of making it up with the wizards. These days, knowing someone's true name is only useful if you want to dox them. Well, the package arrives, but the Behemoth shoots out its parachute so it doesn't land gently. Tessa will not give in to despair, though. She tells Sosuke to go get it anyway. So he jumps from the moving truck, because when you've done that from a train, a truck has got to be easier. Kaname takes the wheel, though she doesn't know how to drive, which is a bit of a problem. Except they're not allowed to slow down. Kind of the robot. So she pushes it up to 100. I'm going to assume that that's kph since it's Japan. I mean, the wheel's on the right after all, and it makes sense that this is crazy fast for where they happen to be. This isn't a highway. This is some kind of warehouse district near the docks. Point is, Kurtz is in some serious shit in the back of this pickup with a girl who can't drive plowing through this area with a giant robot on their heels. One bad bump or jerk, and he's going to get tossed overboard and then crushed like a grape. No pressure. By now, Sosuke has reached the package, only it landed handle side down. That's worse than it sounds. It means that he can't pop the shell to get at the giant robot inside. He throws a grenade at it because it's what he's got. At Kurtz's order, Kaname steers the truck into the warehouse where Tessa passes out and all kinds of information and images pass before Kaname's eyes. Kurt has to smack her to bring her back around and possibly make up for what she said about him bluffing his way through everything. Fortunately, Sosuke got in the robot. Unfortunately, he's getting his ass kicked. He has Takuma outclassed, but the power differential's so huge, it's like a 12-inch tall Dwayne Johnson trying to outfight a child. He's got the moves, but even the clumsy attacks of a child are going to hurt. Kaname starts to feel freezing cold, then sees weird shit, and then finally hears Tessa's voice in her head telling her to tell Sosuke where to strike on the Behemoth. The cooling system for the Lambda driver. It's the most logical place since the robot needs that in order to not collapse. But Behemoth is not going down easy. It pulls out its huge-ass sword and is also firing at the trio of humans scurrying around the warehouse at the same time. But finally, Kaname is able to let Sosuke know he's got to shoot this thing in the balls. I'm not joking, full-on scrot attack. It's the only way to put it down.
I'll destroy it! Now die!
Oh, right in the fighting spirit. The Behemoth collapses, as anyone would after such a blow, and that's it for that monster. They pull out Takuma, and he now recognizes that Tessa is his sister. He was the better older brother she was talking to him about, and he hadn't realized it at the time. Well, that wraps that up. Now it's time for the coda. Tessa officially bestows the Arbalux on Sosuke as his robot from now on. But first, he has to switch off its ears for a moment, because she's got something to tell Kaname. She's got a bit of a crush on Sosuke now, too. So, he's just letting Kaname know that there's going to be some competition for him. Oh, she handled that so well before, didn't she? Oh, boy. Tessa's going to get knocked right back into that coma, isn't she? Well, that closes out this arc. Tomorrow, we're going to take a look back on this tale of Full Metal Panic.